Okay, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, about that. Let's take a look at when f of -7, what is the value of y? Again, remember that this is when our x is equal to -7. What is y equal to? That's what we're asking. So now let's take a look at our graph. We're going to go on our x value to -7, which in this case is right here. And lucky for us, it's right on the x-axis. So when x is equal to -7, our y value is actually 0. Okay? So with that being said, that is an x-intercept of this graph is -7. And if you look, there's another x-intercept. Where does it cross the x-axis? Somewhere else. And in this case, it crosses at x equals 1. So those are our x-intercepts. So if you look down here, you can see that it says x-intercept. There are two of them. One of the x-intercepts is, x-intercept is -7, 0. And the other x-intercept is 1, 0. There's two of them. The y-intercept of this graph, so let's take a look at the y-intercept. So I'm gonna show this one. The y-intercept of this graph is where the graph crosses the y-axis. And here you'll see it crosses the y-axis right here, which is at -1. So it's at 0, -1. That's my y-intercept. Now this graph, does it have a minimum or a maximum? So we're looking at minimum versus maximum. And if you take a look, you'll notice this graph is not the it's still the original like our parent graph. So it hasn't been flipped. And the lowest this is the lowest part of our graph where the vertex is, and this means it is a minimum. All right, now let's go back to letter C over here. Let's try to find if f of x is equal to 2. In other words, when y is equal to 2, because remember f of x is a fancy way of saying y. When y is equal to 2, what is the value of x? So now we're going to do this same problem, but in the reverse. So now I'm going to go on my y-axis to 2, and I'm going to follow it over, and I'm going to say, what is x value? And that answer is 3. If f of x is 6, in other words, if the value of y is equal to 6, so we're going to go up here to 6, go over to my line. I've hit my line there. And I'm going to go down to find out what is that value. That value is 7. So when y is equal to 6, x is equal to 7. Now, is that the end? No, it's not. It's not just one point. So if I go over to the right, it's equal to 7 here. But I could also go over to the left. So this graph would be continuing. Okay. And on this one, I could do the same. If f of x is equal to 2, I could also go over here to 2. And this one is -9. So x is equal to 3, and x is equal to -9. Okay, we'll do it like that. 3 and -9. Maybe make it an and. That's better. And over here, because this graph would be continuing, right? So, I mean, right now it's hard to see it. We're going to talk more about how we could do it. But if you start to notice, this is just going up by 1 each time. The slope of this line going up is going up by 1. So if this is at 3, and then this is at 4, and this is at 5, and this is at 6. Okay, so this would be, this is 9, this is 10, this is 11, this is 12, this is 13. So this would be at x equals 7 and x equals -13. So that's how we can go about doing this page.